That is correct, YouTube. Life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, right? What do I mean by that? There's really not a lot of boxing news going on right now. You know, it's like I don't really know what to talk about, but actually there is. Like I said, life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. You know, for me anyway, you know what I do? I try to find what I think is interesting and I pass it on to you, okay? And that's what I'm going to do today. We're going to focus on the welterweight division. We got it all. We got it all. All the megastars, Keith Thurman, Canelo, which he's not a welterweight, but I got a little bit of news about him as well. Danny Garcia, you know, Spence, Mikey Garcia, like what? Mikey Garcia? You know, coming up from, what did he start at, like 126? I mean, what the hell are we even talking about Mikey Garcia in the welterweight division? Like, how did that happen? Like, I don't even think we should call it boxing anymore. It's like these guys just, you never know what is going to happen. You know, what, a month ago, you know, we're talking about these big mega events on HBO pay-per-view. Now it's all DAZN, and this guy's moving up, he's moving down. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy when you really think about it. And I don't think anything like this has really ever happened in boxing, where it was just such a dramatic change. And you know, and I really want to talk about it in another video, but you know, what do we have today? Okay, like I said, we're going to focus on the welterweight division, and Keith Thurman, right? Keith Thurman, looks like the welterweight division is finally heating up again. I would say again, because, you know, it was the glamour division. I think the middleweight division kind of stole that thunder, and maybe the heavyweight division, right? You know, got a little bit of that thunder as well. But, you know, usually, you know, I'm on here talking about the welterweight division. You can go back and look at 90% of my videos, and it's all about the welterweight division or Canelo and Golovkin. So, you know, I think, look, these guys know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So, yeah, Keith, you know, sometimes Thurman, or anytime Thurman, or maybe it's time Thurman, or once upon a time Thurman, as he said in a recent interview. That's how he was like describing himself. He was like, I don't know, am I going to be one time, maybe sometimes, once upon a time? You know, he's like, we'll have to wait and see. You know, been out of the ring about 2 years, right? 28 no, 22 KOs, going to face none other than Josito Lopez, right? Josito Lopez, which I like Lopez. You know, he's a good fighter. But, you know, you give him a pass? Yeah, I give him a pass. You know, he's been out 2 years, but why? Why the hell has he been out 2 years? Okay, that's the real question. It's not the time, it's why. W-H-I, why, right? Keith Thurman, okay, Keith Thurman had his last fight against Danny Garcia, was in March, I think March 2017. Of course, before that, Shawn Porter, Luis Collazo, let's see, Robert, the Ghost, right? Robert Guerrero, Leonard Bundu, who was it, Diaz, I think, and Soto Carras, which actually, I like that fight. You want a fun fight to go watch Soto Carras and Keith Thurman. Good fight. Now, Lopez, okay, Thurman's opponent, 36-7-0. Okay, now check this out. Lost against Canelo, right? Lost against Mr. Canelo right there. Who made that? Who made that? I didn't make that. Lost against Canelo. And remember, he pulled Lopez up. Canelo pulled Lopez up from a lower division to defend the belt. And I've talked about this on, you know, on the channel before. But, you know, Lopez been in there with Andre Berto, Marcos Maidana, you know, just to name a few, But I believe he lost. Yeah, he lost against all those guys, I'm pretty sure. But now, look, let me back this up a little bit. But yeah, like I said, right now, Lopez on a 3-fight winning streak against, I think Manuel, Corral, and Cruz. Okay, pretty much a bunch of unknown guys, but you know, he's on a winning streak. So now look, I actually just watched a video, a really funny video. Keith Thurman was giving an interview, and Errol Spence cuts in and starts talking a little shit, right? You know, he's saying, look, you know, Spence basically said, look, you know, when it's time for me and you to fight, right? When the time is right, you get hurt. You know, you run off and play a flute. You go and get married. He's like, when the time is right, you're always gone. You know, and he's got a damn good point. I'm a Thurman fan. I am a Keith Thurman fan, okay? But the truth is the truth. Like, what the hell? I thought he was gone. I thought he just like, I'm done. I'm out. Peace. You know, I'm done. I made a few $1 million, whatever he made. I'm out. But he's back. You know, I'm happy to see him back. But why? Why did he leave for 2 years? I mean, the elbow surgery, yeah, okay. He got married, yeah, okay. But that don't take 2 years. Not when you're hungry. And that's the question. That's the question, people. Is he hungry? Did that hungerness die? You know, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, right? Like, is he once upon a time Thurman? I don't know. So, but anyway, you know, that was Spence, you know, chiming in on his thoughts, you know, saying basically, you know, why you ducking me, Thun? You know, so, you know, Thurman also said in that interview that he wasn't impressed with Terrence Crawford and the Benavidez fight. So I thought I would throw that in there. Now, Errol Spence said he was not impressed with Terrence Crawford against Benavidez. They basically said the same thing I said, you know, after the Crawford fight. But, you know, the guy had one leg. Dude been shot in the leg. And, you know, he was against a one-legged fighter that couldn't go forward, couldn't go backwards, couldn't do anything. You know, throw a jab basically and take a punch and smile and shake his head no. That's what he did the whole fight. It was like pop, pop, no, pop, pop, no, pop, pop, no. You know, that's all he did. But, you know, I mean, if he wouldn't have had that, I think, what, 12th round stoppage, then that would have been a bad look for Keith Thurman. That would have been a real bad look. Now, here's something I don't like. Okay, here's something I do not agree with, okay? You know, he's talking about the Pacquiao fight is a possibility, you know, like he's king of the damn hill. You know, Keith Thurman, he's like, yeah, there's a possibility, you know, all this bullshit. And, you know, and I don't like that arrogance, right? I don't like that arrogance. He talks about Pacquiao like he's some kind of upcomer or some unknown dude on ESPN, you know, making his way through the ranks. You know, he needs to put a little respect on Pacquiao's name, people, okay? Look, one time, Keith Thurman, you need to put a little respect on Pacquiao's name. That's how I feel, okay? Okay. Let's see, where we at? Where we at? Right here. Let's get a picture of Pacquiao. Mayweather, now, well, you know what? Let me back up. He also said that if Adrien Broner, if there is a Pacquiao, you know, if they should fight Broner and Pacquiao, it would erase everything Broner has done wrong in the past. He's like, yeah, you know, if he can get in there and shine against a Manny Pacquiao, well, then that's going to erase all the bad things that happened in the past. You know, blah, 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 right? No need to elaborate. You guys know what I'm talking about. And I don't really agree with that. You know, I mean, where do you even come up with that logic, right? You know, and let's not forget about Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence. You know, I mentioned it before. Look, I don't care what anybody says. Dramatic pause. This is a mismatch. Mismatch of 2018-2019. It is a flippin' mismatch. It's a mother-humping mismatch, okay? A mother-humping YouTube analytics mismatch, all right? Like I said, don't care what anybody says. It is a mismatch. You got Mikey Garcia talking about he's never done a damn sit-up during training camp, and now he's working on his body. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. Mikey Garcia, you know, like I said, he's been dropped. Don't forget, dropped in the lower weight divisions, right? What do you think Spence is going to do to him? You know, Spence is talking. He's in there talking about like I'm gonna just murder this dude. You know, hypothetically, he's like I'm gonna hurt this dude. He's like I can do whatever I want to this guy. You know, they both claim to know like little secrets about each other, and so they have this confidence going into it. Garcia and Errol Spence. And by the way, I'm going to cover that fight as press. I will be getting my press credentials. So, you know, so look for that on the channel. Now, yeah, we'll mention it. Mayweather back, right? Back in the news, claiming the fight is back on in Japan. Or, you know, there's a good possibility, right? You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. The dude cannot stand to be out of the damn spotlight for more than 10 minutes. You know, or maybe he's burnt all that money up. I don't know. According to 50 Cent, he's broke. Probably. Wouldn't doubt it. You know, can't forget about Danny Garcia, Shawn Porter. Danny Garcia has a fight coming up against Adrien Granados, April 2019. Right? You got Danny Garcia, Granados, 2019. But that is subject to change, and it hasn't been approved by the commission. So that could change. You know, a lot of these guys are out here, you know, talking about like it's a done deal, like it's a wrap. And it's not a wrap, okay? It could change. So, Shawn Porter beats Danny Garcia in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. He's chasing a fight with anybody and everybody, and he's going to end up with this guy, Ugos, what the hell ever, right? Look, it's time these guys started, they need to fight each other. Okay, all these top tier guys, they need to fight each other. Spence, Thurman, Porter, Crawford, Garcia, Pacquiao, maybe. You know what? I'd like to see that matchup. I really would. That wouldn't be a bad fight. A Pacquiao, Danny Garcia. I'm just tired of all these damn mismatches, So, but Porter, it's a title defense for the WBC title defense against Ugos or what the hell ever. These boxers, man, they have like these really hard names. I'm terrible with names, but so I mean, what do you think? What is the best matchup in the welterweight division, right? I mean, in my mind, if I could pull a fight out of thin air, like I said, I like a Pacquiao because I want to see what Pacquiao has left. Now, I do talk about, he needs to retire. Yeah, he does. But, but also I think there's a little bit left in the tank. So I would say maybe like a Pacquiao Thurman, or a Pacquiao Crawford. That's been a very, a possibility for a long time. But now, Pacquiao with Al Heyman, like I never thought I'd be on this channel or anywhere, talking about Pacquiao signing with Al Heyman, basically under the Mayweather banner. You might as well call it that, right? And but because of that, I don't think you're going to get a Crawford or nothing like that. So, because of that. Now, before it could have been like an in-house fight, because Crawford fighting for top rank. Correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty sure he's still a top rank. I don't know. So many changes have been made. I have a hard time keeping up with these guys. But, I mean, what do you guys think? Like I said, that's probably my dream matchup. I'm happy to see, with all joking aside, I'm happy to see Keith Thurman back in the ring again. I don't understand why it took 2 years. I don't know. I think, because if you go back and you listen to the interviews, like before he hooked up with that chick, right, and got married, he was hungry. I mean, the hungerness was real. Okay, the hungerness was real, people. You know what I mean? He had the eye of the tiger, right? He is a hungry lion. Next thing you know, dude's playing a flute. He's dancing, got all this crazy stuff on his head and flowers hanging out of his neck and all this crystal. What? You're a boxer, man. You're a killer. Okay? People ducking you, Thun. You know what I mean? That's Keith Thurman. Like, what is he doing? So, hopefully we get, and actually in my group, Counterpunch Boxing Facebook group, not the like page. People keep going to the like page. I need to shut it down. The actual group where you can come there and talk to yours truly. I'll approve you, send a request. But, someone asked me a question. They're like, well, what do you think he's going to look like? And I said, look, he's a naturally talented fighter. He's going to look like he always looks, maybe half a step. He may have lost maybe a step, possibly half a step, right? But, he'll shake the rust off and he'll be back to the old Thurman. But there's a big what if factor, the X factor, right? Is he still hungry? Because you've got to be hungry in the game of boxing, You've got to be hungry. And if he's lost that hungerness, then, we don't know what's going to happen. So what do you think? Leave it below.